It was a dark night in the dense forests of Chitrakoot. A lone car sped along the deserted road. Ranjan was driving, heading towards an unknown destination deep within the forest. His eyes repeatedly glanced at the GPS, which showed that the destination was near. Suddenly, in the middle of the road, a woman appeared with her child, signaling Ranjan to stop. But instead of slowing down, Ranjan pressed the accelerator harder and, without hesitation, ran them over. The woman and child screamed, and blood splattered across the windshield. But Ranjan didn't slow down at all. A little while later, when he looked ahead, he was shocked. The same woman and child were standing on the side of the road as if nothing had happened. In a state of disbelief, when Ranjan looked back, the blood on the windshield had disappeared. Wiping the sweat from his forehead, Ranjan muttered to himself, "Parveen was right. These wandering spirits are always in search of a victim. If I had stopped, my soul would be wandering like them today." Tonight is Shani Amavasya, and on this night, these powerful spirits come out searching for offerings. Ranjan checked the time. It was almost 9 o'clock. I need to get back before midnight. Ranjan stopped the car in a desolate corner of the forest. In front of him stood a large peepal tree, its upper branches dry. This is the tree Parveen mentioned. The dry branches mean that the Brahma Rakshas resides here. Ranjan opened the car's trunk and pulled out a bag. Inside the trunk were a live rooster and a baby goat tied up. Ranjan took out the goat, which was bleeding in fear, and dragged it to the base of the peepal tree. He then tucked the rooster under his arm and placed it on a stone beneath the tree. From his bag, he took out bottles of local liquor and arranged them under the tree. As soon as he turned back, he suddenly heard footsteps behind him. He turned to look, but there was nothing there. Suddenly, a cold breeze blew, and the tree's branches began to sway. Ranjan's heart started pounding. He quickly moved towards the car, hurriedly got into the driver's seat, and tried to start the car. But the car refused to start. Ranjan began to panic. He tried several times, but it was as if the car had completely shut down. At that moment, a shadow began to emerge from under the tree. The shadow slowly advanced towards Ranjan. Sweat began to pour from Ranjan's face. The shadow came closer, and suddenly, a terrifying figure appeared from under the tree. It was the Brahma Rakshas, whose eyes glowed like embers. Terrified, Ranjan started honking the car horn, but the Rakshas had already reached the car. In a last-ditch effort, Ranjan tried to start the car again, and this time, it roared to life. Ranjan sped away as fast as he could. But when he reached a distance and looked back, the sight was astonishing. The tree, under which he had left everything, had disappeared. And so had the Rakshas. Only one thought lingered in Ranjan's mind. Did I really see something? Or was it just an illusion? Ranjan drove away as fast as he could, deciding never to venture into that forest again after that night. Ranjan chose a dangerous path in his quest for wealth and power, but his actions led him toward destruction. As he attempted to pay a heavy price in the forest, he faced the consequences of his sins and ill intentions. After that night, Ranjan never returned to the forest, but the power of the Brahma Rakshasa accepted his sins, leading him to a terrifying and eternal fate.